All right, so hello. This is sort of a different video to what I normally do, but I recently got into speedrunning, and this was my fastest ever time. Now, I will say this was a set seed, so I've just been trying to sort of practice, like, getting the bastion routes and going through and doing everything. So I found this seed, the other day, and it turned out to be a really good one. It has, like, a nether fort and bastion and everything as soon as you get in the nether, so... I have been learning the routes of this, and we're doing this kind of for another video where I'm trying to like speed run and get a whole bunch of an item. I'm not going to say what it is yet because that's going to be for another secret video. But anyways, so kind of the way that I've been doing this, my crafting is really not too great. But we start off by making a whole bunch of stone tools, and then I found that I got to get some wood there, and I just have been, I've been learning all the different methods for speedrunning, and one of my favorite ones is the switching the tools like we just did, using the offhand. It's such cool tech, and it just saves so much time as opposed to like organizing stuff and just pausing. So anyways, we get the golem here and found that this place has some leather armor, which is definitely a little helpful. And I end up getting the wheat here. I get a little more than we probably need for an 18-minute run. You can tell based off of the title that it's 18 minutes. But I get a whole bunch because I'm going to actually end up going end busting after this. And just having all that food for the shulkers and stuff is pretty nice. But we end up crafting our bucket, grabbing the water, and... I am no pro at the game, so I'm only grabbing 3 beds because we're going to do like the old Ender Dragon strats. I imagine if we did like the speedrunner strats of the 1 cycle, the 0 cycle, if I knew that stuff, this run totally could have been sub 15 minutes. But anyways, a weird thing I found with this seed after running it several times is it always takes 23 pieces of gravel to get your first flint. I don't know why that is. I always thought it was random, but there are a lot of weird numbers on this seed that are just always consistent, like getting your first gravel. The iron golem always drops 4 iron. The first enderman on this seed always gives you an ender pearl. The second one does not, but then the third does. It's a bunch of weird stuff like that. But anyways, we water bucket clutch. That one, I almost missed it. And I think this one I do. Yeah. not that good. But we end up making it over here. And as you can see, there is a lava pool. And now I'm pretty proud of this. I got so good at doing the nether portal. So we place gravel just like this. Then we mine that. Boom, we got the bottom of our nether portal finished. And the gravel from all that flint is actually like helpful for building this. And look at that. That's like, look at the water strats. It's so good. That's like 10 seconds to build the portal. So definitely got pretty good at that. I still want to learn the water ravine one, the method for that. But anyways, as we're in here in the nether, I get shot at by a ghast, and I'm just doing my best to weave around these mobs. And the gravel strats, I mean, it looks like I'm Dream at this point, but I found that we can mine down into here, just like so, and then these chests have like iron and gold and stuff, but I just end up mining them because it's slightly quicker. And if I actually do end up getting into this whole speedrunning thing, I need to figure out the crafting and inventory stuff, just because this is like the slowest part of the whole run. Is making like I try to make like a shield and stuff, and I know if you're doing bastions first you can get like fire res. I don't know bastion routes that well. The only one I kind of know is the bridge, which is what we're going to be going to. But anyways, at 4:06 we have all our stuff, and I'm ready to start going for blaze rods. Now, as I've been running this seed, I noticed the mobs spawn kind of differently. So I actually get kind of lucky here and have 2 blazes right off the bat. That sort of is like what constitutes a faster run, is when you have just lucky blaze rods or a whole bunch of blazes spawning. So anyways, I get my first rod, and that was another thing. The first blaze on this seed never drops a rod. The second does, the third doesn't. I think 4 and 5 do. It's weird, like the mob drops are always the same as you start out. But anyways, we get our rod. I hop over here so I can spawn those and start the portal, or what's that, the spawner timer again. It's like 15 seconds in between spawns. I start that, and then I go clean up these blazes, which is lucky because we need to kill as many as possible, given I already know, like, blazes 3 and 4 won't drop. I don't know how this works. If somebody wants to tell me how the predetermined mob drops work, that would be fantastic. But anyways, we have a couple rods at this point, and I know you can do strats like blaze bedding and exploding the blocks around the spawner so that you get more blazes. But I found that for not having fire res, it's really difficult to kill all the blazes if like 4 spawn at once and survive. So that was item scroller for a second that popped up. So anyways, I found that we need blocks, but I'm not going to mine them from the spawner because I don't want too many blazes to spawn. So I spend this time kind of getting some blocks. We're at 4 rods already. And because I know this seed, I know we just need 5 rods to leave. So I get the 5th rod and I'm like, we're out. And at this point I was on call with Miles and I'm like, bro, I'm out at 6 minutes. This is crazy. Because we got so lucky with the blaze spawns. So at this point I'm freaking out a little bit because it's like 40 seconds faster than all the practice attempts. And I know it's like the world record has almost beaten the game by this point. But we're in 121 and I'm just learning speedrunning. So I had the nerves at this point. But as you can see, like all the gravel is coming in really handy here. And then we have the nether bricks to help get over the rest of this soul sand. And I'm feeling like a pro at this point. Okay, this is the speedrun strat for this seed that I found. So I get this soul soil and you're going to see why. It seems like I'm just wasting time here, but with piglin bartering, it's another one of the things that's consistent on this seed is that you always get the same drops from piglin bartering. I have no idea why or how that works. But one of the drops that I always get is soul speed boots, like soul speed 3 or something. So I found that if we start to build this bridge out of nether bricks and then build the rest out of soul soil, we literally get back towards the portal even quicker. So I'm speed bridging here, a little shaky because this is fast paced and I'm like, oh boy, should I be speed bridging this? But we make it across. We're chilling. Nice. And at 7.5 minutes, this is where Miles, he's also speed running the seed. We're both trying to do it. This is where he's like, oh my gosh, Wunba, you're on a good pace. You know, I'm starting to freak out a little bit. But we boat down and now we're going over to start bartering. Now, this is literally day 1 of me ever trying to barter in a bastion. I've done it like a little bit, but this is like the first time I'm actually like serious about it, trying to get pearls. Normally I'll trade with like 1 piglin, but here we're doing it with like 10. So anyways, I'm getting up. We're at 8 minutes and this is at this point a full 2 minutes faster on this seed getting to the bastion than I've ever had. And now one thing I found is you always need 1 ender pearl from this seed. So I kill the enderman knowing that the first enderman is always going to drop a pearl. You'll see why we need to get a single ender pearl from enderman. But at that point, we start to go mine the gold. We're going to be using this to barter. Very obvious. But it's strange. The piglins always seem to drop 8 pearls with all of this gold. So we get 8 pearls from the gold, and we're gonna get 1 from the enderman. The last one we're gonna be getting inside of the stronghold, and because it's a 2-eye stronghold we'll be going to, that'll be enough. So without getting too in-depth with math class, we start to work our way up the side of the bastion, and I believe this is a bridge bastion, so that's like the easiest one to get the gold if you don't know what you're doing. But one problem with 121 Minecraft is you have these brutes. So I've had this brute before. It's kind of 50-50 on the seed that you get the brute to even come down here. But I chucked the gold to the other guys to begin bartering for the pearls. A few more come down, and I'm just trying to clear this brute. I'm a little worried that some of the guys are still going to be angry at me, so I kind of back up, and it seems that one of them might still be angry, but he quickly gets distracted with the gold. So anyways, at this point, I just start blocking them in. We're just bartering, and I'm freaking out at this point because my previous record speedrun was I think 40 minutes and like 40 and a half minutes. I have been doing 121 because I feel like it's more practical for like videos and stuff. I like the challenge content and I just want to get good at beating the game quickly on like a challenge. I don't know, if I'm doing like a 24 hours challenge, I want to be able to beat it quickly so that we can kind of get going with the challenge. So that's why I've been doing 121 as opposed to like the better version 116. But anyways, as we're bartering, we already got 6 pearls, and I found that for the Ender Dragon fight, I personally like to make a bow and a sword. You'll see why in a moment, but I'm kind of just going through here, waiting for a couple of things. We're trying to get spectral arrows. We need 10 obsidian, and I believe 9 ender pearls. So I'm just chilling in here. I'm like trying to stay organized with everything. I don't know how the pros do it. That's genuinely the most impressive thing about pro speedrunning is that they have perfect inventory management. Like, they always make it look so easy, and then when you're trying to do it with bartering, these guys drop so many random items, and it just clutters your inventory, and it's honestly the most stressful part about it. So that's definitely, if I do get into this speedrunning arc, something I'm gonna have to learn. But we're now approaching 11 and a half minutes into the run, and we're almost ready to go. We got 8 of the obsidian, and we're just waiting on some more pearls, which I know that because of this seed, we're going to be getting pearls very soon, which we did just get. We're going to get our obsidian and those boots. That happens every single time. I'm actually shocked that it's the same every single time, but it is always the same drops. So in a second, we will get our 9th obby. It is just a given. And then it's always really close to the end that we get our 10th. So I think that was not it. Not quite. We're almost there. But in a moment, there we go. We got 9. In a moment, I'm about to be like, all right, we got to go. So I open up my exit and place the boat just so we can drop down. And then I get 10. And I'm like, okay, Miles, I'm 2 minutes faster. At this point, I think the fastest run out of the Bastion I had gotten was like 14 and a half minutes. It was something ridiculous. So I'm over 2 minutes ahead of pace. And I could totally imagine myself doing this on a normal seed. Like once I learn the Bastion routes, not a non-preset seed, it might take a while to find like a good seed. And there's definitely some luck to it, but I could totally see this happening. So it's just so exciting starting to speedrun, and like when your time is bad enough, every single time you get a good run, you're going to be beating your personal best. So there's going to be a lot of improvement. I think it'd be cool someday to get sub 15. I don't know if that will happen on a random seed. I guess we'll see. But also, I think I'm only going to be playing 121. Anyways, as you can see, our soul speed boots helped us get back quickly. And now we're going to be building our portal that is going to take us into the Stronghold. And I think this is still a full 2 minutes ahead of the fastest. I believe the quickest I got in here was like 15 minutes, a little before it. But we're in the Stronghold, which I found the perfect spot to build the portal. So you always get in the Stronghold. And now, because we only have 9 pearls, we have to go through the Stronghold and go to one of the chests, which I found is always this guy in the back, and get the 10th pearl. I grabbed that iron because I'm going to be running the rest of this in the end for the elytra. But I almost lose my direction. I'm like, oh yes, this is the right way. And I'm shaking a little bit. You can tell by me pressing that button. But here we are in the portal room just at 14 minutes. I craft the eyes, and this is again another thing that speedrunners do, is they put those eyes in so flawlessly every single time. It is a lot harder to do quickly than you would think. But we're in at 14 and a half minutes. Now, if I knew how to zero cycle the Ender Dragon, which I've seen it like 1,000 times, if I could do it, I think we could have had this run beaten in like 15 seconds. I don't know, around there. But I don't. So what I end up doing is praying that the Ender Dragon's not going to kill me as I come up here and I bow this. And the main thing I'm looking out for is just the dragon flying over towards me. So I always like to kind of build up higher than where it's at. And every time it shoots, I just build up. And I gotta say, my aim was on par. Man, look at, I think it's this shot or the next. I get that. And then I just get this one. And I'm like, bruh, okay, this is it. Normally, I would spend like 2 minutes here just trying to kill these crystals or shoot the crystals. But I get it by about 15 and a half. And my previous fastest for this was, I think, 17 and a half. So again, I'm 2 minutes ahead still. And we're just trying to kill all the crystals because that makes it so it can't respawn. But also, I believe you're more likely to have the dragon perch when all the crystals are destroyed. So I go down here, first shot, get it. I even shot a second arrow because I did not expect to get it first try. But by about 16 minutes, we have all the crystals done. So this is for sure sub 20 run at this point. And I'm freaking out a little bit, but also I'm like, as long as I just don't fumble the football, you know, fumble this, as long as I don't mess something up, we got my fastest ever speed run, which, you know, based off of the title, you know that I didn't mess it up. But I start bowing the dragon, just trying to get it down as low as possible. And I'm going to be doing the basic bed strat that we've all seen. The non-pro speedrunner strat. But here it is. It is starting to perch. So I just get ready and I'm like, all right, we need to get this right. So I get my blocks out, I get a single bed, and the strat that I've found with the iron sword is I just like to go in there and it usually flies off after you do about a quarter of its health. So I do like maybe 22%, just a little less than a quarter. I get it ready, then I place the block, get the bed in, boom, there we go. Dragon is down below half health at 17 minutes. I'm like, bro, this is the run. This is going to make it into the video because I'm about to speed run from here. I'm about to go get elytra and all that. So we're chilling. I just kind of start to bow it because I want to get it on this next explosion. And I almost don't. You'll see in a second. But every single bit of chip damage is just going to be so helpful here, given we're going to be doing that bed explosion. It's not going to do half of its health. So oh yes, I'm preparing here by getting the trapdoors. I found that it's slightly quicker to get the wood for the trapdoors than it is to kill an enderman to go through the gateway. It's not important. But anyways, dragon is perching again at just before 18 minutes. And I almost look at an enderman before shooting that arrow, and that could have been it. If I did that, I would have been so sad. But here we are, 18 minutes. We ended at 18:26, so you know I get it. Or do I? It's at just 1 pixel of health. And I'm like, no. But then I get it. And there you go. That is my fastest ever run. So, yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. Different video than normal. Maybe I'll keep you posted. Let me know if you want to see any faster runs. All right. Adios, everybody.